we bought the house 5 years ago, but we had initially seen the house a year before that. It was on the market, but when we called the real estate agent, there was some problem, we couldn't get in to see it, but we were always very curious about it. And then I guess a year later it went back on the market, substantially lower price. And we were able to get in and see it, and we thought even though it had a lot of work that needed to be done, it was a really interesting house, and for some reason we were just like, we're gonna get this, we're gonna buy this house.
Yeah, so it's a two-family house. It's very small, it's only about 1,500 square feet total. The rental unit is 500 square feet or so. When we bought the house, that unit was uninhabitable. It had been pretty trashed. We had to put new floors in and do some other work in the bathroom to get it to be rentable. And that was their first priority because we really wanted to be able to afford owning the house, and that was really our highest priority there.
Yeah, and then once that was done, we had a tenant there, and meanwhile we're living in New York City, and we're going back and forth to take care of things. We had started in with our ideas of what we wanted to do with our space, and you know, it was years of talking about it and trying to figure out what we could do. We had a lot of interesting challenges because not only is it stone, where you can't just knock out an exterior wall and add to it. You have to work within the confines of the stone. You had to work with what was historically there, and you had to somehow make it manageable for our lives.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of planning and a lot of thinking about it. We'd take our car drives from New York back here on the weekends, talking for 3 hours about what we might do and what our priorities are, what we need to do first. And we decided that we probably wouldn't do major work until we could devote more time to it. And that happened to happen in 2011, a year ago, when our careers kind of changed and we moved back to New London.
Yeah, and one of the things, living in the house for a while, what became really obvious to us was the rooms were really small. On a 500 square foot floor, on the first floor of our apartment, which is the second floor of the house, there are 5 rooms, which just doesn't allow for much space. We were able to squeeze in 10 people for Thanksgiving into a room that had no business having 10 people in it, and it became pretty clear that we wanted to open up the space for our own use because it really wasn't functioning for what we needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to make it modern without losing some of the beautiful features that are here. I think that we had seen a lot of interior design where they kind of go with the exact feeling, exact replica of what it would have been like back in 1850, like when this house was built. But we kind of wanted to use what was there but make it very modern and open. I mean, that it all feeds into that whole feeling of being open and breaking down the small rooms, and we finally, we really though prioritized by what structurally we needed to do in the house first. So a year ago when we moved back, we decided take care of the roof, take care of the chimney, take care of some immediate windows that needed replacing, insulate, do some things that really just kind of kept the integrity of what was there so we didn't have more problems. And then now what we're onto is our next phase, which is doing this modern, open floor plan for this area.
So really one of the first things we did was we got a designer to at least work with us to give us a conceptual plan of the space. One advantage that we had with the house, even though it's 160 years old, is that nothing really in the interior is original. The floors are original, the staircase is original, but that was about it. So we didn't feel like if we made major modifications to the space, we were going to be disrupting the integrity of the history of the house. The floors, obviously, we want to keep. They're the original floors. They're wide plank floors. We believe they may be pine. We're not really sure what type of wood it is. The staircase we will obviously keep as well, but pretty much everything else was open. We wanted to create, like Stephanie said, we wanted to create a space that felt a little more modern, but really worked with what was already there as well. And I think that the plans we've come up with have really have moved us towards that goal.
Yeah, and I mean, and we had to take care of some very basic things. Like right now, on the top floor, we have our bedroom on one side and the kitchen on the other. So, we need to move the kitchen to a different floor so that we can, use more space, have a kitchen that works for us and is not necessarily near our sleeping area. Basic things like that need to be done.
Right, and there is already a kitchen and a bathroom on the other floor, or at least space for one, and plumbing for them. So we don't think that should be a major concern. What we also really wanted to do on the second floor was not only separate out living quarters from sleeping quarters, but the bathroom really needs an upgrade, which we were planning to place the bathroom where the current kitchen is, and then add a laundry room. Because right now we have to go to the laundromat down the street. It's convenient in terms of its location, but not necessarily in terms of day-to-day use. We're both very busy and we don't have a lot of time to run back and forth to the laundromat, so having one in the house is a pretty high priority for us.
Yeah, I mean, but it is a very cool project. I mean, even though we basically presented a laundry list of things that need to be done, the vision, and when it is done, it will be a very neat renovation. It will preserve this house that is really very unique in New England and New London, New London is filled with historic homes, and even then it's a unique one. And it kind of revitalizes the street and the neighborhood a bit. There's plenty of historic and wonderful homes in this area. Many of them have, seen, multiple tenants and maybe not kept up as well. Landlords who just kind of are using it to function as, tenement buildings. And this is definitely going to impact that.